Most of us go to work. Some of us right out of high school and some a little later. Need some support to get a job? Indiana Vocational Rehabilitation Services may be able to help.
What is vocational rehabilitation?
Indiana Vocational Rehabilitation Services, sometimes referred to as just VR, is an employment program for high school students and adults with disabilities.